YetiZen. I am the CEO and founder of YetiZen. I see a lot of familiar faces, so you know what we do. We run an open co-play space for game developers, a lot of events like this one during the year, and then also the Games Accelerator. And you see some of our companies floating around, including one of our panelists here. Yeah. So we are really glad that we have Game Insight here tonight, so thanks guys for sponsoring this and putting it on and helping us talk a little bit more about the world of games and business. Yeah.
Thank you for having us. Can you guys hear me okay? Thank you for having us. It's great. I've been to a few of these myself, so
awesome.
I'm very happy to be here with you guys.
Fantastic. All right, so let's get started. But a few housekeeping items. The way we're going to do questions tonight is you actually have to tweet the questions. So there's a hashtag that rolls around, I believe it's StartupMonthly. If you tweet that, we will know that you have a question. Those questions are going to come to me, and I'll pick the ones that make me laugh the most. I have been drinking, so that's the rule. No, okay, I'll pick the ones that I think are most important. He told me to say that. And then the other housekeeping item is that right after this session, we're going to have a 10-minute Q&A with the Cooley law firm. They're also around if the Cooley folks can raise their hands and sign up. Yeah. So they are also around, so in case you have any other questions that you want to take a bit offline with them, so feel free to talk to them about legal advice. So thanks guys for being here. All right, so let's get started. Our first question. So tell us briefly about what you do and why should indies care?
So allow me to introduce myself. So my name is Nick Marchesini. I work for Game Insight North America. I'm part of the publishing team. We have an office in Moscow, 800 employees, and an office here in San Francisco. It's just a few blocks away from here. I've been in games for a little over 10 years, give or take. And here to talk about publishing and why we work with publishers. So to answer your first question, I'd say that for those of you that develop games for mobile, the number one issue, as we all know, is discoverability. So getting your game discovered, downloaded on the App Store is really difficult these days, and it takes a huge amount of money and a lot of internal expertise to get it there. So I would say that's probably the number one reason in my mind why to work with publishers. Also, publishers typically have in-house expertise in marketing, PR, distribution, localization, how to customize your game for monetization, things of that nature. So, in my head, publishing is a very different animal than development. If you're a developer and if you're good at it, just concentrate on what you do best. And I would say, at least contemplate working, talk to publishers. That's their business, that's what they do, and I believe that they could probably help.
So just because it's kind of related, someone asked us before the event, and it must be the beer, because I do know the games you guys have, but someone asked me what the games are, and it didn't come to mind. So can you speak a bit about some of the games Game Insight has out there and the demo you have of that?
Absolutely. We have more than 40 apps out. We've been around for a little over 3 years. So our flagship game, so most well-known games we have is Mystery Manor, which is a hidden object. We have a couple of city builders out there that have done very well. Paradise Island and The Tribes.
I was close. I called it Country Manor. I'm sorry. Mystery Manor.
Close.
Cool. Wonderful. Yuri?
Hey guys, my name is Yuri Rabinovich, and I'm founder of StartupMonthly. We started 3 years ago as an organization that helps young entrepreneurs to create startups. We are new to game industry. We have partners such as Game Insight that we work with in terms of mentoring startups that we work with. We typically we raised the seed fund, and currently we are interested to invest in gaming companies. We typically invest 100K first check, and then we'll see how it goes with the company. And we typically want to provide a lot of hands-on support, and we partner with Game Insight and other companies to help our companies. So this is what I'm doing.
Cool, thank you. No?
Hey guys, Kirk with Zen Studios. Manage publishing operations for the studio. My background is in, a lot of PR and marketing to start, working on big AAA projects. You might have heard of like Guitar Hero. So I got my start there. Kind of got sick of that big corporate world that guy was telling me what to do. Went to a small indie developer called Zen Studios about 3 years ago. Ever since then, just been focused on writing our own destiny, figuring out what we want to do, and have fun making games. We've now published on almost every digital platform known to man, done it all on our own dime, all on our own skill and expertise. So if you want to know about that, I can tell you more. That's about it.
Hi guys, my name is Parra. I'm from Colombia. I've been in the industry like 6+ years. 3 of those in Pressure Studios, where I'm CEO and co-founder. We are a company focusing on action-adventure mobile games right now. We've been around since 2011. We started on Facebook, where we got 200,000 players. Now we are switching to mobile. And then I'm also the president of Global Game Designers Guild. It's a Latin American association to promote, educate, and help the Latin American community. So why should guys work with me or care about what I do? I think it's all about sharing, learning from each other, the mistakes, the experience that we have had. And then if any of you are interested in the Latin American community, I'll be more than happy to tell you about it.
So what's the best way to go about working with someone like each of you, Or should people even work with someone like yourself? I didn't come up with the second part.
Of course they should. So from the publishing perspective, like I said, there's many reasons to at least talk or contemplate a publisher. But if you are going to contemplate working with a publisher, I say, the number one thing in my mind is try to work with someone that will pay attention to your game. I've say, probably you want to work with someone that has obviously an expertise, that has previous record of success in publishing more than one game in more than one genre, and that focuses on quality as opposed to quantity. There's just too many publishers out there, I would say, that just have hundreds or thousands of publishing partners.
What demos and what genres of game would you say Game Insight is? If people are working on that, they need to come and talk to you.
So, Game Insight is obviously well known for hidden object and city building, but we're expanding beyond that. We're doing more mid-core, more hardcore games. So, we're happy to look at any game genre. But, from my perspective, where I sit, is just try to find a publishing partner that will pay attention, that will be like a full-service publisher that will help you with monetization, will help you improve the game, will help you with distribution, localization, getting your game out in global markets, PR, that kind of thing.
Do you guys invest in the game studio, or is it simply a distribution and monetization consulting agreement?
Our value add is the marketing proposition for the most part. We can take your game to the top of the stores. We can cross-promote your game with our successful apps. We have 150 million users in our network, so organic installs is a big thing, and it's come free. So we're happy to do that. We typically don't invest in games or games from the get-go.
That's what Yuri does.
That's what Yuri does.
So Yuri, how do you? I guess the same question. What's the best way to work with you guys? And then also, what is it that you're looking for in a set of early stage, guys with the game idea?
Yeah, so we are looking for teams that have the skills to build a game or company and potentially build the right thing for their customers. We come from more like a startups environment where you build, we preach lean startup and customer development, kind of build something that customer wants. In games it's a bit different.
And lean slice is a really thick one.
Yeah, I know that it's different, and you need a lot of expertise in your team in order to build something viable that people want to play. And it's not that in 1 month you can launch something viable. So we are looking for teams that worked for a while in the industry and have the expertise to build the right software. And again, just to build a game without distribution and marketing expertise, it's very hard. That's why we partner with companies like Game Inside to see how we can help our companies to get their first customers, and then hopefully the product will be viral and attract more gamers to use the product. Did
Do
I
you
answer
have
the
a-
question?
Yeah, that's a great answer. Do you have, like, what is it that you guys take? Is it an equity share, or?
So we invest a convertible note, and typically it's with a cap. The cap is dependent on the stage of the company, and yeah, and until equity round, we prefer not to convert.
Okay, that sounds good.
It's an interesting question for a company in a position of Zen Studios, because we're mostly focused on our own properties, we develop and publish our own games. We have published other titles by other developers. I don't think our agreements look anything like what a traditional publishing agreement looks like. It's mostly been almost like a bro deal. Like, we know people making the game. We want to help you get out on whatever. I mean, we've been primarily in the console space, and we've taken our console games to mobile, which is a totally different animal than just developing a native mobile app. But the point of that is like, there's different types of deals out there. It's a lot about relationship, and the console world is a pretty tight-knit group. Mobile is quite a bit different. I was just at Casual Connect a few months ago here in San Francisco,
And they were all your best friends very quickly.
I mean,
A bit too much.
it's exciting. Like, there's no question of, like, that's where the excitement is right now. That's where the money is. Like, it felt like old school E3 parties going on at Casual Connect. Lots of money, the drinks were flowing freely. It was a good time.
Nicer people, though, right?
Very nice people.
People like Nick and me.
Yeah. But it was really interesting. I mean, I'll be honest. I just felt like they were like they didn't know who I was. I would introduce myself very, casually, and then reveal later that I was Zen Studios. Most people have heard of Zen Studios now. We've got this pinball game that a bazillion people have downloaded, but once they heard that, they're like, oh, I don't need to talk to you anymore, because it almost felt like a very cheesy, like they were just hoping to scoop up my game and fill it in. But the point is like, find a partner that you feel confident with, and like have some legal expertise, and have some business know-how. People read over your contracts because you're a game developer, you're making a game. You don't have the skill set of a lawyer. But I would say find a partner. If you want to work with Zen, which is what the question's about, like, why would you work with us? Because we've been in your same shoes. We started out as 4 guys doing work for hire, and then when digital came on the scene, we saw a different path, and now we're 65 guys 4 years later, and kicking butt. So we know the challenges you face, and we know how to get to market and sell product. And if you ever want to approach a publisher like us, it's like, well, what kind of game do you have? What's your passion? How do you want to make this work?
So how many mobile games do you guys have, and what types of genres, what types of demo?
In the mobile space, we only have 3 apps, and they're all pinball related. Soon to be 3 more non-pinball related. We do have big brands associated with our product, which has been a big win for us in mobile. We have Star Wars and Marvel and others. And it's really exciting. That's been a very key aspect to getting our game promoted. Promotion is huge. Games are very expensive, and if you don't have the proper marketing, which a publisher with a huge network can do for you, definitely there's a lot of value in that. But for Zen, 3 apps on mobile, but more console games.
So has it been like branded pinball versions of, say, Star Trek?
Yeah, adaptions of like Star Wars. Actually, just yesterday we released Star Wars Pinball, our second pack, on 10 different digital channels simultaneously.
Does Star Wars promote the games also?
Not so much. There's no marketing written into agreements. You work with them and you try to align with their project schedule. But Disney owns them, and just there's a whole row of product that's shipping in any given month, and like, who knows, they might not even know who you are.
But it's just a recognition an end consumer would have of something like Star Wars that helps you buff up.
Yeah, absolutely. It is Star Wars. It gets the press to pay attention. I send a Star Wars related email to a journalist, it's more than likely going to be opened up, because
Is that true, Dean Takahashi? Will you open my email if I said, say, Star Wars in the subject line?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. That works. Thanks for verifying. All right. right, Luis?
Okay, so we are like context over context. We are like I'll listen to you and like like younger version, way younger version. And then so we're about 15 people here in Colombia. And then how we work with new people that approach us. It's like maybe some guys say, yeah, we have this idea for a project, so we want to help you guys with your projects, and then we can develop our own, and we put the art, we put the game design, and we can partner up. So it's more like a team getting the games, the experience, our names out there. That's how we're working with a lot of people. We also do like work for hire in Colombia, and our own IPs. We're trying to create like the winning team, and then a good network of people that wants to work with us. So the younger people, and actually one of our teammates are all here in the crowd. So yeah.
And how does GGDG work? Why would folks here want to talk to GGDG and its companies?
Latin America is a growing market, and then it's like sleeping market. It's just waiting for the right people to focus the market and get it to the next stage. So I think that's the reason why people should care about Latin America, and just kind of like see what the potential is there.
Yeah, so I don't remember the exact stats, but since we were having some conversations, the compounded like growth rate of the gaming market, and if you look at all the Americas, Latin America is pretty high up there. And typically what happens now is that games made here by developers, which you don't even know, your games are being played over there, right? So, and often for in English, so localized games made by people in that market, something interesting and stuff you would partner with them.
Yeah, like the culture-wise, you need to have local people, right, to help you, and then to getting to know new cultures is kind of really possible.
About the money, Luis, any money there?
It's
Can I get money out of Argentina?
You can get good prices.
But how about Colombia? No Argentina, but Colombia.
No, you can get good prices in Colombia. Really good teams right now. The industry is developing a lot. It's growing, but it needs a lot of education.
Don't you guys have like the highest credit card penetration of all the Latin American countries? Colombia does?
The highest credit card.
Credit card penetration?
It's growing, but it's like PayPal doesn't. You cannot cash out on it.
What?
You can PayPal. You can't cash out on PayPal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'd have to use it on something else.
Yeah, you have to cash out through the States.
Through the U.S.
Yeah.
Well, it's good for these guys. They can cash it. All right. Okay. So, from your perspective, who are the right people to work with in this business, and what should we look for? We being the indie developers here.
So, from the publishing perspective, I would say, I think I mentioned again, the right people to work with is someone that pays attention to your game, someone that concentrates on helping you improve the game. They can provide distribution, they can provide monetization, they can provide expertise in monetization, all that stuff. I think I've probably got that.
So, how about we switch it a little bit? Who's a good developer for you to work with? I'm sure you have developers you really love and developers you really hate, right? What's the good and the bad?
I don't hate it.
Dude, I'm the one who's been drinking. Why are you like?
You're nice people. Now we look at a lot of games, and for us, it's quality over quantity. So our motto is to work with developers that have like really high quality games, and so I think that's the right focus for a publisher. If you're focusing on quantity from the developer perspective, if I have 1,000 games and you come to me and I sign you and I didn't even look at your game, but I'm willing to sign you into a 5-year contract, all of a sudden I'm just going to throw the game, just throw it against the wall and see if it sticks, right? And if it doesn't, then you're committed for 5 years and they'll never promote, they'll never push your game. So I think the right way to look at publishing, if you're going to contemplate doing that, is just to find a publishing partner that it's going to pay a lot of attention to your game, and it's going to help you get to where you need to be. So that's something that.
Yuri?
In terms of investment, I recommend to work with investors that have a good network. You should look who are the investors that invested in successful games. So they most likely have expertise, and they know how to run a business and help you with their network, and they also have good connections to the right publishers. And yeah, so this is in terms of investment. And in early stage investments, look at the angels that build. Some of the angels were game developers before, and they can provide a lot of insights how they built it and created their successful games.
I think the right kind of project that fits within the Zen Studios portfolio is a game. If you're starting in mobile, a game that could potentially step up to the console market and other types of gaming stores. We have a vision of our game being played everywhere, no matter what device you play on. And so mobile is part of our focus, but so is consoles. And I know that it's kind of scary right now with what's going on with like Xbox and PlayStation and all that, but we're not making games that compete with like big AAA titles and whatnot, and we're very focused on like that $10 XBLA PSN download and all the way down to that $1.99 free-to-play app on mobile. So if you have a game that you'd like to see living across all those platforms, Zen Studios is a good place to take a look.
So I think like for us as young startups, we're looking for people that can share a vision of how startups should be. Like to lead the startup culture is very different than the corporate vision.
What's it to you, man? What's the best part about startups?
It's the passion. It's like honestly, it's passionate about something. Don't care about money. If someone tells me I'm in this, I wanted to get rich with the fast and stuff, and yeah, shouldn't be here. That's for my opinion and my startup. Like we all want to make a lot of money, but the passion and what we want to do comes first than the money. That's kind of my opinion.
What are you passionate about? What are you
Passionate about creating awesome games, like adventure games. We have some casual games that a lot of people don't play. I'm passionate when people play our games. It's like the best thing ever. Like when you see people coming and you see the numbers going up. Like our first game got 160,000 users in 2 weeks, and that was like such a rush. That's awesome. And we also do like the studios to make projects between like share code, share game design, share revenue, stuff like that. But the main thing when you look to partner with a small startup, young startup like us, it's share the vision and share the passion. Without that.
So I have a request to make. If the tablet with the questions, if you guys can give it to me now, that way I can interlace those questions with the ones we have now. So the next question. So from your perspective, given what you do, what are the potential problems or red flags to look out for? Red flags, man.
So many. I would say number one, again, focus on working with someone that concentrates on quality over quantity. Work with a publisher that's flexible in terms of signing a contract that's less than 3 years. I think if they're requiring 3 to 5 years, that's probably too long. Another red flag could be asking to own your IP. If you're a developer and if you develop the game on your own, then in my mind you should own the IP. And another red flag could be just working with a publisher that asks for worldwide rights, but they don't even have an established presence worldwide. They only distribute in a few territories here and there. So I think as a developer, you should be aware of those and fight back.
What are they? What should I fight back against as a developer?
Well, what I just said. If they ask you for too many years, it's 5 years. It's too long. So what? You ask for 1 year, 2 years. So if they ask you for worldwide, but they don't have a presence in Asia, you say, why would you want to distribute my game in Asia if you don't have a presence? None of your games have been successful there.
What about testing? So some publishers have a 1 week testing period, and if you hit X type of metrics, it's an all or nothing from there. Should developers agree to that?
I think you should be fully aware and just talk to a variety of publishers if you're going to work with a publisher and be conscious of what the both material terms are for a deal and also what else a publisher can do for you. So, you know, getting a higher rep share may not mean anything if your game will never be released.
So
you have to
watch
you have
out
to look
for
at the whole picture.
So watch out for the 1 week testing with the option for them to pull out and still own something.
Licensing is very complicated. There's just too many things to look at, so don't just watch out for one thing. Look at the material terms, which are important. Look at the whole picture. What can they do for you? If a publisher is rushing you to sign and they haven't even looked at the game, that to me is a red flag.
Okay. Yuri?
I think that watch out is working with developers that don't treat their game as a business. You know, like you don't
Passion
develop.
project. Passion project. No passion project.
Yeah, not passion projects. You should think about creating a business. Otherwise, you don't need investment. Like investors don't give you money just to create games for fun. You need to create a business, and you need to think about how to monetize your game, or there are various ways to monetize games, and you should work with experts that can provide you some insight how to monetize games, because it's not that easy to monetize games with in-app purchase. There are a lot of mechanics that you need to understand how to create a stickiness to the game, and we want to know that these guys are doing a business, or they can find someone that will take the team and make a business out of it.
Like Game Insight.
Not necessarily.
I thought you guys were friends.
We not just right now.
Not when you ask questions like in this kind of program.
That's funny. This is an interesting question for me. It's been a really long time since Zen Studios signed a publishing deal with a publisher. We do sign distribution deals for markets that we don't have expertise in. And I would say the red flags there are you want to maintain full control of your brand. Never let them have creative control. Always own your IP. Always have legal expertise. Read over every single word of that contract. If you don't feel 100% comfortable with what is there, you don't understand the clause, you need a lawyer, okay? Because it's tricky. There's a reason why there's lawyers in this world. They control the world, I think. Anyway. You absolutely, yeah, there you go.
That exactly.
Yeah, they're there. And from a publishing perspective, never, like I said, you never give up full control of your IP. It's your brainchild. It's your innovation. It's your passion. Find a publisher. I like what these guys were saying about not about the quantity, but about the quality. Someone who shares your own values. Someone who has a vision for your game to succeed beyond just this one iteration. Because if you look at the shelf life of 99% of mobile games, it's a flash in the pan. I mean, very few succeed on the charts beyond a week or two, and they fall off. And so the vision for your game has to be more than just that one iteration, and you have to maintain control for that, because if you do end up with a hit on your hand, you don't want to be owned and tied down forever, because you just don't. I mean, like, these guys will be awesome to help you get there, but look, your world is much bigger than that at that point, and you need to maintain that control.
That's awesome.
Red flags. So I agree with you guys, and then I have worked with publishers before, and then it wasn't the best experience, but it was an experience of learning. I would say, you guys say quantity over quality. With all due respect, the publisher that I used to have sent an email saying the same thing, and then I found out like it wasn't true. So you need to like actually go do the research, and that's on the publishing side. On the team side, I know when you say passion can be like, oh yeah, no business, but you can have a lot of passion and a lot of time, like your mind can be in the business, in the passion, right? So you need to have the right team for that. Your team cannot be like, oh, we're artists and we're gonna make a game in like 3 years, and yeah, mobile game is gonna be that long. So you need to have the right team for your game. A free guy, it doesn't mean it's right. It has to be the right guy for your team. That for me is like the biggest red flag, is having the right team. It doesn't have to be the best guy. It has to be has the great chemistry with the team.
The most committed guy as well.
Yeah.
The one who's going to eat ramen with you, or burritos in your case.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't have burritos.
Someone should take this beer away. Or whatever the little breakfast muffins were that we had with cheese and something. Amazing. Okay, so I'm actually going to switch to, what was it? Pandeon is awesome. Great after a night of drinking. So I'm going to switch some of these questions here that are coming from you guys. So do premium mobile games have a future, or should we only be making free-to-play titles now? What are your opinions? And just to vary it around, can we start on that end?
Sure.
Yeah.
But me, as a gamer, say premium is like, as a gamer, as a developer, I say premium is more money. So as a business person, I would say premium is gonna have a long way to run, and then it's just gonna stay. Like, I don't see it going anywhere.
You don't see
Premium going anywhere. Yeah, no, premium is gonna stay, but it's not gonna go up again. That's how I see it. It's money. Premium is more money.
And why is that? Why is
Because
premium?
you can get more out of the players. Like instead of getting $60 out of players, you get 1,000 big whales. Nobody's gonna give that up.
No?
Freemium is the future for native mobile apps. There's no doubt about it in my mind. If you're creating a new app today and you want to be successful, it's got to be freemium. If you have a property that you're taking from console to mobile, it's very hard to retrofit an existing IP into a free-to-play game. So I would recommend going paid, just a premium paid app at that point. You see a lot of companies like Double Fine is very good at doing that. They establish their, I don't know if you guys know Double Fine, Tim Schafer. Excellent job of establishing IP on a bigger platform and then just bringing it to mobile. And they do things that work really well in the mobile side of things for that specific game. But it's hard to take an existing property and make it free to play. But if you're going forward from this day forward, I don't think that
If it's a new IP, you mean?
If it's a new IP, Zen, if we're building a new IP today, which we are for mobile, we are going free to play. There's no question about it. The top grossing charts, the numbers, the amount of players just to get into the game, and there's no reason why you'd want to mess around with the native, just $1.99 out.
And one of the reasons that works is because a lot of people who don't know what your game is get to try it out,
Exactly.
and then you can monetize them over a period of time. Whereas if the brand and the IP is well known, you know, they already know what they're getting in a sense, or they expect a certain type of quality, and they're going to pay for it. Right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So that's right.
Do either of you guys want to answer that? Yeah, I'm gonna drill through these fast, so if you keep your
Yeah.
answers short and fast.
Yeah, I think that free-to-play is the way to go, and the lifetime of game, you most likely gonna make more money than what you get when they pay for a premium game, and the entry point should be very easy for people to try it, and you never know who's gonna stick inside of the game and gonna waste the money.
So a lot more great learning faster, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and also, you know, like the more devices have your games, even if it's for free, you can always update and push new things to these users.
Awesome. Nick?
Yeah, same thing. I agree with what they all said. Basically, there are no barriers to entry and no ceiling to what you can spend. So those are two great things.
Fantastic. Thanks. All right, so what's the best territory outside the U.S. to develop mobile games right now?
To develop mobile games for
Colombia.
love Colombia, but wouldn't be high on my list right this minute. Asia is very hot, so I'd say Korea, Japan, China, of course.
Do you guys
Russia.
do you guys help with sort of localizing it at Game Insight for Korea and Japan?
We are a global publisher. We localize in
Yeah.
20 plus languages at least. So yeah.
So what's the I mean, aren't the platforms different though? Like I can't make my usual iOS game in Korea because there's a completely different system. It's not through the iTunes store.
Outside of the US, Android is dominant in most countries, and so Asia is where Android dominates the most. I think that's just a well-known fact.
And then and is it an open Google Play Store, or is it through the carriers? Anything you think these guys should know before they come to you and say, hey, Nick, I want to publish in Asia, this is my game?
It depends on the country. Samsung obviously is very strong. We work with different carriers in Asia. We work with different publishers. We tend to find the best partners to work with.
Does anyone have anything to add to that question? If not, I'll just move on to the next one.
I'll just say like Latin America. Latin America, even though they don't spend a lot of money, it's a lot of the countries are growing. More cell phones, the percentage is growing. So I think in the future is going to be a market to look at.
So are you saying if I'm playing a more longer term game that I want to, 3-4 years from now, I want to be the leader, which market I should pick? I should pick something which is growing now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, can I have one thing? We're talking a lot about mobile too for these markets, which I totally agree is where the growth is, but don't forget PC. PC is just as easy to get to market there in like Russia or these other countries. I mean, it's a PC and mobile space. They don't do consoles. So if you got a game that translates to PC.
So, Yuri, I've got a question for you. Would you invest in a PC indie gamer right now? Okay, why not?
Because the distribution is very hard. Like mobile devices are growing crazy.
Ooh, Mike, he doesn't agree. Mike, back to him.
By virtue of Steam, if you get a game out there, whether it's greenlight or published, you're in Russia. And Russian press are very easy to deal with. They are hungry for free games. You just send it to them. They write about you on YouTube, 100,000 views, boom, sales. It's easy, guys.
Okay, let's maybe give this to Nick now. Nick, is it easy in Russia?
PC games we don't do.
Okay.
So we do
Well,
only
do you have an
mobile.
opinion on that? Like PC games in Russia?
I used to work PC games 10 years ago. Steam is a very reputable company. They're great. Love Steam. So I just agree. Yes, I do agree with you. That's not something we do.
Okay.
When I used to work with PC, we did the PC retail, and it was very fragmented and very difficult. Digital age came around, made it a little bit easier. But again, at gaming side, we only do free-to-play mobile games.
Got it. And then so Yuri, would you invest in a company that's on Steam?
No, we invest in mobile.
Mobile.